Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Zanthyst Gaming. We're in 7 Days to Die, and we are going to be looking at all the different things that you can scavenge when you're out in the world, gathering loot, killing zombies, and having fun. So we're going to start off with pallet scavenging, and then we're going to work through based on different materials or tools that you use. But first I want to look at all the different pallets that they added in Alpha 17. So when you go in, you'll see that we have the wood boxes, the cement bags, the cobblestone bags, rock blocks, wood blocks, and wine barrels. Now, the wine barrels don't give you very much resource. They're 225 durability, so probably not worth the time or effort to break. The wood blocks are kind of the same thing, 225. They don't give you much. So I would recommend skipping the wine barrels and the wood blocks. They're not really worth the effort that they take or the stamina they take. Also note that as I'm testing this, we are using a creative mode, and we've already leveled up a few things. Most notably, we have Miner 69er maxed out. We have Motherlode maxed out as well. We have Fury of Blows and Sexual Transsource maxed out, so we can mine things easier. Now, having higher ranks of these also changes the totals that you get from the items. But the same general concept applies on what is useful and what's not useful. So these blocks here are like brick blocks, and they are super good for stone. So if we go into creative mode and can we spawn a boulder? No, we can't. I'll have to go find one. But if you look at this, it has 200 durability. And breaking it with no points into anything gives you 50 stone. With full points, it gives you 94 stone. By comparison, that had 200 durability. If we find a boulder around here somewhere, there's one. The first layer has 400 durability, right? We go through, we break the first layer. It's going to take us a lot longer because it has twice the amount of durability. And for twice the amount of durability, we get like half of the total stone. So we went from 90 something stone to 40 stone, and it has twice as much durability on the rock. So that basically means that those brick pallets, excuse me, sorry, my voice is kind of raspy today. Those brick pallets are amazing for stone. One pallet with 92 stone, I think it was, and 200 durability. It's pretty crazy. Now, if you don't have points into Sexual Transsource or any of those things, it will give you less, but it's still like 50 stone for 200 durability. Definitely worth your time. Moving on to the cobblestone, get out your shovel, and then you just shovel the pallet, and you'll get a good chunk of cobblestone. Now, usually there's quite a few of these in a POI, so you can get anywhere from like 300 to 600 cobblestone in a single POI, which is pretty amazing. In addition to those, you'll often find these cement pallets, and these give you full cement mix that you can use to directly upgrade blocks before you have the ability to craft cement. So definitely worth your time to take these apart whenever you find them. All the different levels give you the cement mix as well, so you're not missing out just because it's a smaller block. Make sure you get all the different block sizes. They'll give you anywhere from 8 to 14 cement just based on RNG and your stats that you have into things. All right, now these boxes here are mechanical parts, plastic, wood, and can sometimes be electrical parts. You can hit them with an axe, and then you're more likely to get the mechanical parts. You can also hit them with a wrench. The axe is the most efficient way to go, so I would go with that. And you don't always get the mechanical parts. Sometimes you get mechanical parts, sometimes you get electrical parts, sometimes you get plastic. You can see with 4 of them, this is what I got. They're okay. I wouldn't honestly waste my time on it unless I have like all my stats maxed out like I do here with the Sexual Transsource, the Fury of Blows, Miner 69er, Motherlode. I wouldn't mess with these unless I have all those stats maxed out, because they take quite a while to kill when you're first starting out. and they don't give you a whole lot of resources, and there's a lot easier ways to get electrical parts and mechanical parts, which we'll go over shortly. All right, that's it for the pallet scavenging. We're gonna go ahead and move on to our next part. As I hope you're ready for this next one, because this next one is crazy. There are so many different things that can be taken apart with a wrench. I've tried to organize it a little bit to make it a bit easier for us, but here we go. So walking in here on the right, we have all the things that are taken apart with a wrench and give us electrical parts. In the middle, we have all the things that are taken apart with a wrench and give us both electrical and mechanical parts. And then on the left, we have everything that just gives us mechanical parts and something else. Up above, we have some things that we can take apart that give us even more stuff, more valuable stuff, and we're going to go over each of these in turn. So let's go ahead and go on in here and start taking things apart so you guys, whoa, my screen froze there, so you guys can see exactly what we're working with. So we're going to start with the mechanical parts, and you're going to see how much each of these gives. can also pick up these chairs, and they can be scrapped in your inventory to give you resources. So if you scrap the barracks chairs, you're going to get 15 metal each. If you scrap the wooden chairs, you're going to get 2 wood each. And if you scrap the old chairs, you're also going to get 2 wood each. Now these are all over the place, so just pick them up, scrap them, move on. They scrap really quickly. It's a lot of extra resources. Going through getting the new POIs, sometimes those iron chairs are out on the decks. You can get quite a bit of iron that way too. So definitely recommend picking those up and scrapping them whenever you see them. Alright, next up is plastics. Plenty of plastics, all to be found all around the place. So any of the body bags in some of the POIs that you can find, if you take them apart, you can get plastic from them. I don't know if it matters what tool you take them apart with. I think axe tools give you about the same as if you use a pickaxe tool. These are all different models of the body bags, but it seems to be about the same. Might have gone one extra there, I'm not sure. Let's try it again. Yeah, so it seems like maybe you get one more if you use a pickaxe. Wrench. Smack it with the wrench over and over again. The nice juicy explosion sound. So wrench and pickaxe seem to give you 2 with either of them, and it's got a nice little juicy explosion sound when you finish it off. Yummy. So these are in some of the POIs towards the end of them. Take them apart when you see them. Might as well. Free plastic. You see these washing tubs quite frequently. If you use a wrench on them, you can get some plastic. I think you can also use a pickaxe or an axe. You just get a little bit less. If you find any of this luggage laying around, go ahead and take a wrench to it, and you're going to get lots of plastic for the luggage. 13, and I think it's like 10 to 15 range is where it is. Seems like that tends to be the average. We'll take apart each of these so you can kind of see they're all luggage. I can't seem to figure out where to hit that one. Let's grab this one. There's a 15. It's a 9. And of course, there's a shopping basket. You can always take those apart. 13 on that one. This one you might not be able to take apart, or maybe I was just hitting it at the wrong angle. Shopping basket, you can just hit it like that and it'll give you iron, not plastic. My bad, they changed that. Can we hit this with the pickaxe? This one, maybe you just can't hit that particular piece of luggage. That's kind of strange. Yeah, no, so this one just is not hittable. And now I actually have 2 pieces of luggage just sitting out in my testing area. Oh well, such is life. Alright, and then you can take apart the cooler with the wrench. You can also take it apart with an axe. Either way is fine. But the tire you definitely want to do with the wrench because it'll give you a ton more plastic. These could have been in the wrench section of the video, but I had so many other things in the wrench section, I figured I'd just split them over into a plastic section. So if you're needing plastic, those are different things you can get it from. You can also get it from the blinds that look like this. I didn't place any down, but we can. And you just take an axe and you just break them. And you can get quite a bit of plastic that way because those blinds are all over the place. You'll have like 4 on a window and then like 4 right next to it on another window. You just go through and whack them, and you're going to get a decent amount of plastic if you're doing this in every house that you go into. You can see that's 12 plastic right there. So definitely make sure you're doing that. Same thing with cloth. If you need cloth, you can get them from the curtains. The black curtains that look like so. You can hit them with an axe and they'll give you cloth. So make sure you're doing that early game because you can turn those cloth into bandages, and bandages are essential to staying healthy in the early game. Alright, now if you're going to be scavenging for iron, of course you can break apart boulders and scrap the raw iron into metal. You can dig, you can find iron nodes, but if you're out just searching through houses and stuff, there's other ways you can go. So if you're inside of a house and you see any of these type of things, ignore the luggage. Ugh. If you see any of these type of things, you can take them apart and get some iron, except for these 2 are for stone. But so you got a fence, you can take it apart for iron. But if you clap something that's big in iron, sometimes you'll get these little blocks, cross beams of iron on the ground that you can break apart, and those can be great for getting iron. There's a POI, which is like a trailer with a surrounding wall of cars, and if you break the lockers underneath the trailer, it'll collapse the trailer down and you'll get a bunch of metal. I actually had it happen to me the other day. It's kind of funny. So that's one way to get iron. You can also take like these desks and you can break them and they'll give you iron. The radiators will also likewise give you iron. And then if you break like the faucet heads, it will give them to you in your inventory, and then you can scrap them. So if I break that or this one respectively, it'll give it to me in my inventory, and then I can scrap them for iron and brass. These store shelves are all over the place in some POIs, break them for a bunch of iron. And then these stools, like the hairdresser place, has lots of stools, so you can break those for iron. Lockers are all over the place. After you loot them, if you know you're not going to be coming back, you can break them. The only thing about breaking these sort of things is if you are on a short loot respawn timer, like you set it down to like 3 days or something like that, you don't want to break these because then they won't respawn with items. But if you're on like a 30-day timer and you are like, this is miles and miles away from my base, there's no way I'm coming back, and you're on a single player game and you're not going to ruin the game for someone else, go ahead and take these apart and break them, because they'll give you iron. Same with the trash bins. You can break them apart for iron. The frames of the metal doors, you can break those apart as you can break those apart as well and get iron, and they're not too hard to break either. Mailboxes out in front of every house, you can smack apart and get iron as well. And then trash cans are all over the place. You can break those apart and get iron. Again, if they're a container that can contain loot, remember, if you break it, you're not going to have any chance of the loot respawning. So you can decide what you need and what's best for your own situation. Also, I'd really recommend that anytime you have cans that you loot from cupboards or anything like that, just scrap them, because they can really add up to quite a bit of iron. If you're just not picking them up or throwing them on the ground, it's really a waste. Just scrap them into the iron. Bathtubs, if you want to, you can break them apart. They'll give you a little bit of iron, a little bit of stone. Wrench does not work on them. Pickaxe only. Alrighty. Alright, sometimes when you're out there scavenging, you'll find these munition boxes. Now these munition boxes can be taken apart with a pickaxe or with a iron pick. Either way, it doesn't matter. But you can get steel and forged iron from them. It's a little bit RNG. You don't always get the steel, but most of the time you do. And boy howdy, is forged steel valuable early in the game. So if you find these munition boxes and you loot them, I would take them apart with the pickaxe. The only thing to keep in mind is that if you do that, I can guarantee you won't be able to get the respawns later if you wait 30 days for loot to respawn. Either way though, I think it's worth taking them apart, getting that forged steel and getting that forged iron. Alright, next up, when you're going through houses, you can find these little ammo piles. Sometimes they're on top of cupboards and in out of the way places, so always make sure you check on top of cupboards and fridges and things like that. But once you loot them, they'll have some ammo inside, and then as soon as you finish, they will poof, disappear like they were never there. So you won't ever see those respawn. But yeah, medical supplies for those. And then these are models in the game. They're named the same way as the previous things, but they're not lootable yet. I have a feeling that in the near future, we're on B240. In the near future, Fun Pimps will add something onto those, so they'll be lootable just like the other ones. As of this moment, even if you break them, they don't give you any materials. So yeah, but be looking on future updates to see if those get stuff added into them. Now these may look familiar to some of you guys. They're not in the game when you kill zombies by default, but some POIs have them scattered around to warn you of things. Like, for instance, if you see these outside of a encampment, you know there's going to be landmines around. If you see them underneath a house in a tunnel or something, you can be sure that there's going to be a dangerous animal ahead. So they usually forebode something dangerous ahead, so keep your eye out for those. Alright, and it looks like, no, we do not get anything from them. Alright. Oh, nope, I got a bone from that one. You can also break apart the gore blocks that are on the road and get bones from those as well. Alright, whenever you're getting clothing, you can keep in mind that most of it can be scrapped, and they'll give you different materials. Hazmat will give you hazmat clothing. Some things will give you leather. Some will give you cloth. So just kind of keep your eye on that. If you see that it's not worth selling because the sell value is low, you can always scrap it. Or if you have the inventory space, you can see some of these things don't sell for much, like the skull caps 4, baseball caps 4, but some of them sell for a decent amount. Hazmats could be 40, cowboy hat 20, suit stuff is going to be 49. So it just depends on the item. Some items you might just want to scrap straight away. Some you might want to save to sell. But keep in mind that different things scrap into different things. For instance, football helmet scraps into iron, scrap helmet scraps into iron, military stuff's gonna scrap into military weave, leather stuff's gonna scrap into leather, cloth stuff's gonna scrap into cloth, so on and so forth. But more importantly, guns. If you get low-level guns and they're not worth selling, this one obviously you'd sell or keep, but if they're not worth selling, you can scrap them and get mechanical parts. Easy source of mechanical parts since they're all over the place, and you don't want to go and sell your trader all your low-level guns because then he won't be interested in buying your higher-level guns. So scrap those lower-level guns, get the ammo out of them. When you scrap them, you'll see the ammo pop out of them, and you don't even have to worry about it. So yeah. Scrapping guns is a very good source of mechanical parts and can save you a lot of time and inventory space. Alright, last but not least, be on the lookout for high quality, high value items. Things like the perk books will almost always sell for 50. Things like schematics can vary from 20 to 70 to 90. It depends on the schematics. Same with mods. Any mods that you find will vary in sell value. Some of them have no value. Some of them sell for 10. Some of them sell for 80. Depending on the mod, you may want to sell it or you may want to keep it. But I would always sell the schematics unless you have the science leveled up. But sell schematics, sell magazines. When you take apart those cars, save those radiators, save those batteries, save those engines, sell those to the trader. If you find diamonds or gems anywhere, make sure you sell those to a trader. Things like Mega Crush or any of the elixirs can sell pretty well to a trader. And if you get a point into better barter, it will actually double the amount that the trader will pay for it. So it actually says 10%, but at the moment it gives you double. Where's it at? Intelligence, I believe, right? Yeah, it says 10%, but it actually gives you a 100% bonus. That might be bugged. They might fix in the future. We're on B240. If it's not like that when you're seeing this video, I apologize. But right now, rank 1 is going to double the value of items. So 50 will change to 100. All right. So the books that were 50 are now selling for 100. And if we put another perk point into it, boom, and better barter. I was gonna bring it up to 150. So each level is increasing it by 100% from the original base value. But definitely worth getting points into better barter if you plan on selling things to the trader. All right, now we're going to move on to one last thing. This has nothing to do with scavenging, just some kind of fun things I found that I wanted to share with you guys. I've never seen this actually in the game, but there's a mod that gives you a turbo engine on your vehicle, so that's pretty cool. I imagine you can go pretty fast with that. Also, there are jump jets in the game. I haven't seen them myself. I was just reading a Reddit thread about it. Someone said they got them on some armor, but they're what was allowing me to jump super high before. Turn off God mode here. See? Look how high I'm jumping. This is 6 blocks high. And I can jump almost over the entire thing. It's 13 blocks long too. So it's kind of crazy. So jump jets allow you to jump crazy far distances. And then I have on my boots the braces, which lets you take less fall damage. So pretty cool. Mods are super awesome. But be on the lookout for those two. They're particularly awesome. In addition to that, when I was looking through the creative menu, I found a couple other surprises. There was a raft in there, and that's telling me that they are intending to look at putting this into the game. And I would imagine it's not functional right now, but I would imagine eventually they're going to rig it up like a vehicle to a point in which you can ride it around on the ocean. Or maybe it will be a floating POI with stuff on it. I don't know. But I thought that was kind of cool. Figured I'd share it with you here at the end. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you leave a like, favorite, share, subscribe, and all that stuff. And we'll see you next time. Bye YouTube. Bye Reddit.